Hello again. So I wanted to tackle another practice non-ramble. Still gonna ramble, but it's gonna be controlled rambling. That's the new term I'm going with for the moment. Yeah. So basically, what I'm thinking is paradigms. I really like this word paradigms. And what is a paradigm? Well, a paradigm is like a pair of goggles. It's a lens through which one views and interacts with what they perceive reality to be when viewing reality through that lens. So this could be any single lens or combination of lenses. So earlier in a video, I mentioned mathematics, physics, science, materialism. Those are all like materialism lenses, but like a combination of them, each one being a paradigm in and of itself. And then let's talk about another kind of lens, like a spiritual lens. So you've got, the spiritual paradigms, and those include things such as Buddhism and Christianity and, major religions, each one being a lens or a paradigm of its own, but also atheism. Atheism is yet another paradigm under the spirituality umbrella. And so, given that you can never prove like anyone else's paradigm to be either true or false, you just have various levels of faith, and those who have faith in science as the ontologically correct paradigm, still have faith in that, given that you can't prove that that is true outside the perspective of those that believe it. So what I like to think, and what helps me a lot when I think about it in this way, is that these are all just lenses. They're options. They're viewports, through which one can view reality, whatever this objective thing is that either does or does not exist outside of human perception. I really like the idea that paradigms can be used like tools. Essentially, a paradigm is a belief system, thought system, a belief structure, or a thought structure, a belief excuse me, system. And so basically, like, maybe if they're tools, you can pick them up and put them on for certain purposes, and then take them off again and put them back down, set them on the table. So if I want to undergo brain surgery, for example, I would really like for my brain surgeon, whether he's a Christian, a Buddhist, or an atheist, I'd still like for him to put on the paradigmatic goggles, the lens of brain emergent consciousness. And I know that's a touchy one, because when you say consciousness, everyone goes, "Ooh, consciousness is this," or "consciousness is not that." But at the same time, we don't know what it means, but nobody knows what it means. Can't figure it out. But it's not that, and it is this. Silly. Silly and childish. I really like the idea that my brain surgeon is going to be going with the brain emergent consciousness model, even though I'm an idealist. And I believe that consciousness is a ubiquitous field from which emerges all experience, human-like or not, anthropocentric or as an umbrella. That's where I would like to ramble, so I'm going to pull it back in and say that, look, yeah, so I believe that everything is consciousness. But I would like for my brain surgeon, God forbid I'm undergoing brain surgery, but I sure would love for my brain surgeon to be operating under the premises of brain emergent consciousness. Why? Well, because I really care about maintaining my own unique perspective and the way my brain functions. And regardless of whether I believe that it is ontologically true that my consciousness emerges from my brain, I would call it nested awarenesses that do recursive self-modeling at various scales and levels within that. But I'm not going to argue semantics with my brain surgeon. I would just like for him to wear those goggles. Yeah, even if he's an idealist, and whether or not he's an atheist, or whether or not he's a Christian, or a Catholic, or a Baptist, or a snake handler. I guess I really wouldn't have too many qualms about him being a snake handler, as long as he didn't include snakes in the process, and as long as he was still wearing the brain emergent consciousness goggles. Very useful tool, right? Very, very useful, and very functional and practical under that particular context. All right, cool. So yeah, okay, controlled ramble. All right, well, I need to practice. This has been take 2. Let me know what you think. If you got any feedback, please let me know if anything resonates with you. I have no idea why nobody ever wants to engage me on these topics. I guess they're very boring, uninteresting, unimportant topics, but I'm still going to keep talking about them because they seem like pretty important to me, and I'm just going to keep developing the concepts on my own and my understandings on my own. But I do welcome conversation. I welcome any kind of pushback, critique, especially. I would way rather have critique over, any kind of affirmation. So I welcome that. Or just like different perspectives or thoughts about like the way I'm putting all this together, and then the way I'm presenting it. So I'm just practicing, just practicing talking. I think that communicating with each other, regardless of whether we agree with each other or not, is a skill that we have lost. Whether that's by design or just a side effect of, modern society and how far we've developed thus far, Still seems important to talk. And if anybody wants to, I'm here practicing and just putting out the invitation with every single video. All right, I love you guys. I hope we can talk one day. Take care.